right, my lovers. It's MJ from Alta Love. Happy to be here with you guys. So, you guys know the spiel. I'm shuffling tarot cards because I like to offer divine guidance and love and clarity through tarot. So funny. You know that classic thing, you meet new people, they're like, what do you do? And I quite easily talk about yoga and EFT, and then I'll usually decide it, oh yeah, and I do tarot. I read tarot for people as well. And often people don't know what it is. It takes them a minute and then they're like, oh, tarot. Right. Because it is quite mystical, right? It's the way when you're an intuitive, you're working with the quantum field, as it were. And that's still, yeah, kind of out there for people, isn't it? So anyway, I hope that you guys are doing great. If you do resonate with tarot, great, hala. If you don't, maybe these are not the droids you're looking for. Let's just get into the reading today. Divine guidance and love and clarity is my intention. Divine guidance, love and clarity for the Alta Love Collective. If you do get any value or wisdom from these, please feel free to follow, like, subscribe, share. I really appreciate your guys' support. It means a lot. This is my job, as it were. This is what I do, and what I've been guided to do at this point in my life. So hala hala, divine guidance and love and clarity. Okay. So for some of you guys, there's a big change happening. If any of you know who Lee Harris is, Lee Harris does energy reports, and the last couple months he's actually talked about this, like the level of grief, and there's a lot of deep pain and grieving happening in the collective. And whether you yourself are going through deep grief and or like you're empathic and you're picking it up in the collective, just be mindful of the depth of transformation that we're going through as a humanity, and that grief is transformational. Anyone who's gone through that kind of change knows it, because it's profound, like what happens to the heart and the energy body, and then the person we become after surviving and moving through that level of loss, or kind of transforming that intense pain. It changes us forever, like we're never going to be that person we were before we went through that grief, before we went through that pain, right? So I feel this like on the individual level, but then also like on the collective level. Just be mindful of that. The mass awakening, the some of the information that's being released and coming out in as far as like how the world works, is like triggering a lot of grief, pain, despair, some denied, some fully exposed. And so for some of you, it might not be you, it could be somebody in your environment that's going through a fall from power, a fall from grace, a fall from a status. Okay. And obviously this can be really troubling and deeply painful. But again, if it's any soul loss whatsoever, just to remember that grief is transformational, and it does help us be better. It helps us be more in tune with the depth of our existence, right? If you're hearing weird noises, it's because there's a dog right there and she's snoring away. She's snoring. Yeah. So this is a big part of it. There's an Ace of Cups here. So like simplicity. So for some of you, you could be going through a heartbreak. You could be going through the end of a relationship. What comes after the end is a beginning, and there's an Ace of Cups. So for some of you, if it is about love, specifically love, romance, trust that there's a new love being born from within you. This feels really stable. And then there's the Six of Swords, which typically is symbolic of us finally moving to calmer waters after strife, pain, conflict. You know, it's like that classic thing of like fighting, and then the kind of calm after the storm, and yet there's this bittersweetness. There's this recognition that, you know, for certainly as a couple or a child of divorce myself, it's like sometimes that separation is actually the best course of action. It doesn't mean it's not painful. It's not like, oh, okay, now the fighting ends, so everything is hunky-dory. There's still a denouement, a kind of unfolding of that, the idealistic happily ever after, or that dream life, and or that safe container that is coming apart. And so, yeah, I remember that when I was going through some really profound heartbreak myself, and I remember just feeling into this like bittersweetness of life, how there were moments during the grief and the pain that like I was almost trying to imagine feeling bliss, or like was there a difference, like this intense heartache, and like tuning into it from this perspective of wholeness, really. And like so much is our perspective, right? And just being able to ride those waves of emotion is super powerful. And like, and also, regardless of all of the intensity of this life, like it's part of what makes us beautifully human, like our ability to feel, our our, you know, I'm envisioning even that horrific earthquake we've just had, and imagining the wailing mothers and fathers and the people who have lost so much. Our ability, like just as witnesses, to be able to hold space in loving compassion, and then to have faith in the human spirit to carry on, right? And to rebuild after such a tragedy. It's part of what makes us us, right? It's part of what makes us human. And yeah. So for some of you guys, there is some sort of success here. This is definitely like a well, I mean, it could be to do with, say, the end of a relationship, and despite the pain of it, the decision you made is going to bring success. And for some reason, for some of you, I want to say, and for the other person, okay? So trust that even if it's been a hard breakup or painful, that the result, like the outcome for both parties, is going to be greater success, and possibly creatively. Because this is just you coming in on this horse. This is you riding in and being like, I'm on my own, right? Like I'm doing this on my own. And this is a decision you've made in consciousness. So you're moving to calmer waters, and you will eventually feel the height of success. For some of you, though, this is something to do with your creative life, even your career. There's a 666 now in this reading, and so that's making me feel like there is a major change. Obviously, grief, you know, it's major. It's not like, I'm a bit sad. Grief is like a whole body, just like, you know, it's like not fun at all. But the triple sixes make me think like windfall, actually, for some of you. It's, you know, maybe not 10 trillion bajillion dollars, but you're likely to come into some money that will help you feel successful, and or because of the success you're getting an increase or a bonus of income. And then this is kind of maybe putting some of your doubts to rest finally, hence moving forward. It's like transformation, positive alchemy and transformation will always lead you to a deeper insight, right? And completion. So it's like you are completing a phase, right? Even though there's this grief, this pain, there's a sense of, yeah, you're going to finish this puzzle, you're going to move to another, you're going to start writing a new book. And that Ace of Cups, a new beginning after a pretty huge metamorphosis and overcoming some deep grief, and having a sense of falling from grace or holding space for somebody in your life who's having a really big change, and as far as like they're losing a job or going through some pretty major change, right? But again, all of it is opening you up to new beginnings in love. And I mean, centrally speaking, this Six of Wands is central. So there's a decision, and it's going to bring you success, and it's going to bring it's going to bring an influx of more money for you as well. I hope that was useful for you guys. And obviously just take what resonates, right? And mostly just keep loving yourself and have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being my internet friends, you guys. I'll speak to you real soon. Peace out. Take care.